If you're planning your summer vacation, Iowa tourism officials say you don't have to go too far. This is one of the busiest times of the year for Iowa tourism groups. Tonight, Lisa Bronis tells us what Iowans are doing to continue to develop tourism in the state.
Prairie Meadows is one of the newest spots bringing more visitors to Iowa. Tourism officials say casinos and riverboats are just one of many drawing cards bringing in crowds.
As we continue to diversify, that's what keeps Iowa's tourism market strong. We don't have just one thing that we're offering. We offer a number of things, and whether it's just a riverboat cruise or the riverboat gambling or being on a scenic byway antiquing.
More visitors means more money, and tourism is big business in Iowa. Visitors spend about $2.8 billion annually in the state. Tourism is the third largest industry in Iowa, following agriculture and insurance and finance. Last year, more than 13,000 people visited the state. Movie making in Iowa is making our state more famous. One of the fastest growing tourist spots is the Bridges of Madison County. Tourism professionals are hoping that kind of sweet success will help sell other homegrown attractions. Lisa Bronis, Channel 5 News.
The new Iowa travel guide filled with coupons and tourist attractions is now available from the Iowa Department of Economic Development. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Nicely done. Wendol Jarvis, the director of the Iowa Film Office, joins us live now here on the Town Square Winterset. Wendol, you just got out of the movie. How was it?
It was a great film. I'll tell you, everybody in the theater really enjoyed it, and I can't tell you how excited people are about this picture.
You know, I think a lot of people, when you think of movies being shot here in Iowa, we think of Field of Dreams, and of course now we think of the actual movie Bridges of Madison County. Is Iowa just lucky, or do other states get as many movie opportunities as we do?
Well, Iowa's a little more successful than some others. Filmmaking is happening all around the United States and all around the world, but we get more than our fair share right here at home.
Now, I know that Field of Dreams and Cold Turkey and Bridges of Madison County, there's some of the more notable movies shot here, but you've got another big announcement, another movie that's going to be coming here later this year.
Right, very soon we're going to be starting principal photography on the motion picture Twister, which Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy, who produced Bridges, are coming back to do that as well. So that'll be a big movie for us, a lot of action, a lot of special effects in that film.
And a lot of that's going to be shot right here in central Iowa, isn't it?
It sure will. We'll be doing up around Boone and Ames and Eldora area.
Now, some of the local folks around here got a chance to be in the movie Bridges of Madison County. Can we see the same thing with Twister, or is that?
Well, there won't be as many opportunities for extras in that film, but there will be a lot of opportunities for Iowa crew working on that picture.
In a nutshell, what does a movie like Bridges of Madison County do for central Iowa and, of course, Madison County?
Well, of course, there's the dollars they bring in, over $10 million from making the motion picture, but this film will last for decades, and Iowans will feel the impact of that for years and years to come.
All right, Wendol Jarvis from the Iowa Film Office, thank you very much. We'll be right back in Winterset after these messages.
You know, Clinton Merrill couldn't make it here to the premiere, and you're probably disappointed about that.
Right, very much so.
Would you mind acting out a scene from the movie with me so that people can get an idea of what they can expect to see?
No, I wouldn't mind it. No.
Okay, props, please. All right, Robert, I will be Robert in this. I'll be Kincaid, and you're going to be Francesca.
Francesca.
Okay, you ready? All right, would you hold that script, and All right, here we go. I was just picking you some flowers.
Oh.
Men still do that, don't they?
Well, except those that are poisonous.
Excellent. Very good rendition. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
It's almost like seeing the movie, isn't it?
Keith asked me for those flowers. I wasn't sure why. Now I know.
Now you know. You know, the Bridges of Madison County may all look alike to the novice observer.
But as Scott Smith shows us, each one of them has a look and feel of its own.
The 6 bridges of Madison County may look a lot alike from the distance. That's why you have to get up close enough to see, and close enough to feel the textures of the Hogback Bridge to really see and experience the difference. Built in 1884, the Hogback measures 97 feet. Each inch has a bump, a scratch, or a nick that tells more about this bridge than any picture can. Take a look at the planks, uneven from years of travel. Now close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a team of horses and wagon rattling across these boards. Look closer. See the scars along the weathered boards. Likely the scars from a sleigh coming to an abrupt halt because it had no snow in its tracks because of the covering above. Above in the rafters, millions more textures and the jagged crossbeams. Hidden treasures can be found in each of these angles. The powdery basket of a bird's nest, the golden dried circles in a honeycomb of a bee's home. From the arched half circle of the hogback entrance to the angled poles outside that hold it all together. To separate this bridge from many of the others, you have to get close enough to feel this bridge. On one of the walls, a carved message reads, "We came, we saw. A bridge is a bridge is a bridge." That might be true if you're looking at the hogback only from a distance.
And coming up a little later, we'll visit the Cutler-Donahue Bridge.
But coming up next, we're going to take a look and see how the Bridges movie and book have been moneymakers for Madison County.
Tonight's newscast is brought to you in part by Yonkers, Bebop's Burgers, Reichardt's Clothing, TCI of Central Iowa, Four Seasons Mobile Homes, the Iowa Lottery, and the Madison County Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome back to the town square in Winterset, Iowa, where movie fans are celebrating the opening of the Bridges of Madison County.
You know, the movie and the book have brought people from all over the world to Madison County, and that means a big boost to our state's economy.
Lisa Barones tells us about the big bucks generated by the movie.
Bridges mania in Madison County means money, and lots of it. Robert Weiler's best-selling book, The Bridges of Madison County, has generated sales of more than $160 million. The movie version of the romance is expected to sell tens of millions of dollars worth of tickets. So it's no surprise to state officials the bridges in Madison County are the #1 tourist attraction in the state.
But when you couple that with a movie with the fact that this is a book that has already created huge amount of interest in numbers of people, and the movie hasn't even come out with yet, I think we're going to see probably at least twice or 3 times as many people interested in it.
Tourism officials say it's hard to predict how much money the movie will bring in tourism dollars, but more than $10 million was spent in Iowa making the movie, including the $50 to $100 per day local extras made for their parts in the picture.
Images with the power to recall the warmth of a summer's night.
The movie and book are not only bringing tourists and their pocketbooks into restaurants and hotels in Winterset, but the economic boost also means an increase in new homes.
It's going to mean a big boost for the community. We pulled some figures the other day on just housing starts. And 10 years ago, 5 a year was exciting. And last year we had 43. So even as far as relocation, people, they see what a beautiful area Madison County and what a beautiful state Iowa is, and they tend to want to move back.
The Bridges book and movie has not only meant more new homes, but also new businesses. Chamber officials say many new shops have opened here, and existing businesses have expanded to cash in on the extra income from popular selling souvenirs.
There will be a big start. There's no doubt in my mind. The film is 2 hours and 11 minutes long, and it's a commercial about Iowa. No matter how you look at it, it's just a big, long commercial, and I'm sure we'll have people traveling to see us then.
The movie is one ad Chamber officials don't have to pay for, and they're hoping Bridges moviegoers across the globe will be sold on Iowa. In Winterset, Lisa Barones, Channel 5 News.
And Ellis estimates the movie Bridges of Madison County will bring several $100,000 here to Madison County.
It's going to be a busy summer here, isn't it? When we come back to Town Square in Winterset, we're going to talk to some of the local residents who got bit parts in the movie.
And a live interview with the daughter of Francesca. She's a Winterset native. One of the lucky Iowans who had a big role in the movie, a 16-year-old Sarah Schmidt who played Francesca's daughter. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I know you just finished watching the first screening of the movie. How'd you look on the big screen?
It was amazing. It's so strange to see yourself up on the screen, but it was really exciting.
It was exciting.
It was fun to finally see the final product.
How did you get this part?
Well, there were some extras casting sessions that were held in Winterset way back in September. And since they were in my hometown, I just decided, well, I'll just go for the experience just to see how this type of thing works. So I went, and almost immediately after I went into the place they were holding this, a lady came by and she pulled me over and she said, there's a small part that has not been cast yet in the movie, and it's the daughter of Francesca, and you look like who we need. And so they took me back for a screen test, and then about 5 days later, I ended up getting the part.
That's how it works in Hollywood. They just pull you aside if you have the look, huh? What was it like working with Clint and Merrill?
It was incredible. They're very, very special people. And it was so great to be able to work with such prominent figures and to reach that level of professionalism. It was really great.
Yeah, Oscar nominees and Oscar winners.
Yes.
Wow. Is this something you want to do for a career, be a movie star?
Well, I'd love to do it. My first priority right now is to finish high school, but with this, this is definitely an open door. And if something were to happen, I would love to do it.
Well, that'd be great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you on the big screen.
Thanks a lot.
Sarah.
Thanks.
Well, we continue our look now at the covered bridges here in Madison County. More than 100 years ago, residents in Winterset needed a way to get across the Middle River, and the way they did that is the Hollowell Bridge.
115 years ago, in 1880, the Hollowell was built where it stands today, over the Middle River southeast of Winterset. It's 122 feet long, the longest of all the bridges, and the years are starting to show a bit. In the 1800s, its purpose was simple, to get people from one side of the Middle River over to the next. Now it serves a similar purpose. Tilted a little, it lets tourists go from one side to the other. While the bridge of wood is still serving a purpose, a second bridge of concrete and metal takes the heavier loads off the Hollowell's back. The contrast is striking. The newer bridge stands firm, holding its ground. The pace is much quicker. Most motorists speeding over it barely give the Hollowell a second glance. The white concrete looks newer and cleaner. The Hollowell is old and weathered, and the paint is chipping. The boards are uneven, and the only thing new is a carved initial in the boards. From certain angles, it looks like a strong breeze could topple it. The two bridges set parallel. That's where the comparisons end. The Hollowell, 115 years old, sagging and tired, does have something, though the concrete slab across the creek is missing. Character and a cover.
When we come back, we'll take a look at all the people and places besides the bridges that make Madison County unique.
Welcome back to Channel 5's hour-long special on the bridges of Madison County. Channel 5 very proud to be the official TV station of today's festivities. We are here live at the town square here in Winterset.
You know, Iowa's history has drawn deeply from Madison County. It has been the home of both John Wayne and George Washington Carver.
Cal Woods has more on why preserving the past is so important to this community.
Youngsters seek small-town glory on a warm spring evening just downstream from where the willows crowd the banks of the Middle River. In many ways, time has changed little in Winterset since the courthouse cornerstone was laid in 1876, and even less since 1965, when two middle-aged lovers found each other in an Iowa farmyard.
As a youngster, I remember the square, and except for differences in businesses, it's much the same as it was in the 1940s.
And the historically preserved downtown made it relatively easy for filmmakers to recreate the Winterset of 1965.
There was a time when people thought, you know, you have to fix up your storefronts to image the popular fads, and we kind of always felt like we were a Victorian town and that natural was better than pasteboard and plastic. So a lot of the storefronts maintain their big windows and their old-fashioned doors.
But it was more than architecture and a good story that brought Hollywood to Madison County. It was also a community of 4,000 people willing to do what was necessary to help make a movie and host a live episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show on such short notice.
It was so simple for me to say, sure, we can do it, and hang up the phone. Now, not all communities could a chamber exec commit her electric company to dropping 3-phase electricity in 3 days, her security people to find security for all of that. But in this community, you can.
Book and movie have already brought in thousands of tourists and will likely bring in tens of thousands more. But the town of Winterset had a claim to tourism fame long before a University of Northern Iowa professor began writing the story of two fated lovers.
We've had the Covered Bridge Festival for 25 years, and before the festival even, there were artists who would come and paint the bridges and photograph the bridges, and so we knew that there was interest in our covered bridges for a long time.
After visiting the bridge where Robert Kincaid first photographed Francesca Johnson, tourists will likely visit the former home of Marion Michael Morrison, birthplace of the actor who later became famous as John Wayne.
Someone said that he was here in the evening one time and drove by his birthplace. And so the Chamber of Commerce bought the birthplace. I can't remember. It seems like it was about in 75 or something like that. And when the gentleman died, then we took the house and started creating the Birthplace Museum.
Most tour buses also stop at the Bevington Mansion at the historical village where much of the area's 19th century history is preserved and will likely remain long after a generation of moviegoers has passed and the town is once again known for more than the place where Hollywood came to make a movie. In Winterset, Cal Woods, Channel 5 News.
You know, we're hearing a lot about the movie bridges, but this is not the first time that Hollywood has come to Winterset. In fact, the movie Cold Turkey starring Dick Van Dyke, remember that one? That was filmed here in Winterset back in the 1970s.
I know that. You know, I hate to say it, Rod, but we're coming to the end of our visits to the bridges in Madison County.
To wrap up our tour, Scott Smith and photographer Don Schmidt take us to the oldest of the 6 bridges.
The bridges of Madison County draw visitors from around the world, traveling thousands of miles to walk through these wooden wonders. But did you know some of the bridges have done a little traveling of their own? The Imes Covered Bridge is the oldest of the remaining 6 bridges. But when it was built in 1870, it wasn't over this natural ravine east of St. Charles. It was built near Patterson. But 17 years later, the county wanted to widen the river, so the Imes was moved over the Clinton Creek southwest of Hanley, where they needed a bridge. The move was done by horses, and surprisingly, the bridge remained sturdy. After the move in 1977, the Imes packed up and headed for St. Charles. Some of the pegs are the original ones from 1870. The Imes and the Cutler Donahoe are the only 2 with peaked roofs. The rest are all flat. The bridges originally were used for horses and cars crossing one lane at a time. But school buses and farm machinery that also used the bridges were too tall or too heavy, so the bridges no longer were practical. Madison County originally had 19 covered bridges. 6 now remain, all on the National Register of Historic Places. A little further away from downtown Winterset, the Imes is worth the extra trip, if for nothing else than to let you say you visited the original bridge, the Imes Bridge, that paved the way for the others, those fast becoming the legendary Bridges of Madison County.
The next stop on our tour of bridges, the Cutler Bridge.
Haven't they done a nice job on those?
Beautiful job.
Stay with us, because when we come back, we're going to talk to another local who had a part in the movie.
Welcome back to Madison County. We're live here in the town square in Winterset.
You know, one of the interesting parts about this entire movie business, not only did they shoot the movie here, but some of the locals actually got a chance to have some parts in there. Keith Murphy has one of those folks. Keith?
I'm here with movie star in the making, Christopher Crone, and here's the proof right here. When you get one of these in Hollywood, you know you're an up-and-coming star. Christopher has just seen himself on the big screen for the first time. What'd you think of your performance, and what'd you think of the movie?
My performance, I thought I did a pretty good job. The movie was superb. Definitely a winner in the box office. Yeah, definitely.
Christopher is 17 years old and goes to Des Moines Roosevelt High School. What do you think? Is this something maybe you want to do for a career?
Oh, definitely. I've been out to LA a couple times this past year, looking for future projects, something to do over the summer. I've got many things are coming out of the blue. Just an exciting time right now.
We're not in the in crowd, so we haven't seen the movie yet, but what are some of the key scenes that you're involved in?
Basically, I'm involved in the eating part. I do the dinner part. In fact, in the scene, I know when I'm going to come in. She calls my name, and I come in, and while I was sitting there, I remember the feeling of because I kept eating onions and everything like that, I almost got sick during it. But, yeah.
Give us one line so people will know.
Pass me the bread.
Pass me the bread. Nobody says pass me the bread like Christopher Crone. Look for him in Bridges of Madison County.
Thank you, Keith. The movie stars, of course, are good here in Madison County, but the bridges are, of course, the main tourist attraction.
But which one draws the largest crowds? Take a look at the winner with tourists.
In Winterset, you don't have to travel far to find a covered bridge. The Cutler Donahoe sits right in the middle of the Winterset City Park, the picture-perfect spot for visitors around the world.
I get to give you a little weather update, so don't go away. I get to show you next Red 5 as we speak. There still is a little bit of rain falling out there, but for the most part it's over. It's missed Winterset, and that's been great news. We got this entire show in, so that certainly is very, very good. I would like to congratulate everyone that's worked on this project, including all our photographers and our reporters. It was wonderfully well done. Let's go back to you guys in Winterset, Rod and Andrea.
Thank you very much, Mark, and thank you for joining us.
That's right. From Winterset, we want to say thank you to all the crew and everybody here with the premiere of the Bridges of Madison County. We'll be back again tonight at 10.
Hundreds turned out for the big event, including Martin Augustine, who is live in the middle of the festivities right now. Martin, what's going on?
Well, Cynthia, right now some of the festivities are starting to wind down. The final 9:30 showing of the Bridges of Madison County in the Iowa Theater just started, well, about a half an hour ago, and so a lot of people are in there right now. I tell you what, today the people of Winterset really put on the dog, because when this book first came out and when it was decided the book was going to become a movie, there was so much excitement here. And so if you listen to how people reviewed the movie as they came out of the theater tonight, you'll understand why this was a long time in coming. Under the Iowa Theater marquee, a crush of onlookers, photographers, and reporters waited for the verdict from the 144 people who got to see the first Iowa showing of Clinton Merrill as Robert and Francesca in the Bridges of Madison County. They opened, at least to this crowd, to rave reviews.
Really good.
Powerful.
Good love story. Makes you think you've been in love once.
Yeah. And this from Iowa's first movie-going couple, Governor Terry and wife Chris Branstad.
That was a great movie.
It was a wonderful, wonderful love story.
The movie may be the ultimate love story at Winterset's Northside Cafe. Packed for business on this opening night, there may be many more of these packed nights to come, since the cafe itself plays a role in the movie. As far as others who have roles in Bridges, here's Sarah Schmidt of Winterset, who played Meryl Streep's daughter.
It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It was so touching. It was the most beautiful love story. Oh.
But does the movie do Iowa any justice? Most thought yes, but one did not when considering the love affair between Robert and Francesca.
I don't think generally we live that way. I don't think we live that way myself.
That, however, is not keeping the throngs from pushing their way into seeing the Bridges of Madison County. Now, this film has earned a lot of praise from some big-time movie critics. For example, Siskel and Ebert, they gave it 2 thumbs up, and even our own John Pascuzzi, who's pretty tough on films, says he liked it, even though he thought it was a bit too long. Back to you.
Martin, tickets were pretty expensive tonight because all the money was going to a charity, but when can we see the movie down in Winterset at a regular price?
Well, the tickets at the Iowa Theater for any movie are $4. Their shows are at 7 and 9:30, and you can start paying that reduced price tomorrow night.
Okay, Martin, you know, we were down there earlier, and I take it the reason it looks like it's daylight down there is all those big lights they put up.
That's right. I'm standing right under the Musco lighting truck. Musco lights a lot of football games, a lot of outdoor events, and it really kind of turns the evening into the daytime, so you would hardly know looking under the marquee there that it's about 5 minutes after 10.
Yeah, it looks like the middle of the day. Thanks very much, Martin.
Well, while all the festivities are taking place up in Winterset, Bridges fans in Des Moines are also enjoying the hoopla that goes along with the premiere. The River Hills Theater is also premiering the movie tonight, and there were plenty of people anxious to pay enough, like $50, to get a ticket to the showing. And those people lucky enough to get one before they were sold out decided to make the most of the festive occasion. They dressed up and went in style to the special showing.
Well, I figured this is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you know, a premiere in Des Moines, and so why not get a limousine and have a great evening, just like they do in Hollywood.
I think that it helps us see Iowa in a more romantic light. We think about it as being cornfields and hogs, and it shows us in a different light than we normally see ourselves or than others see us. It's an exciting time, and I think it's a fun time to celebrate.
Now, as a warm-up to the Des Moines showing, a lot of people went to the Bridges memorabilia auction at Glen Oaks Country Club. Clint's director chair, which John Pascuzzi showed you on First News at 5, ended up going for $20,000. A Bridges hat autographed by Clint Eastwood went for $550. The event was a fundraiser for the Variety Club of Des Moines and was as was the premiere showing at River Hills. Organizers say both were smashing successes. And again, the Bridges of Madison County opens nationwide tomorrow.
Well, the Des Moines Spirit is still not out of the water tonight. The boat capsized and crews have been trying to get it back upright. All the commotion drew a crowd to the Des Moines riverbanks. Tonight, crews attacked.
Plymouth and your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By the Prudential, peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Houston basketball fans getting a little excited. Their Rockets lead it 84-77, 8 minutes 42 seconds to play in regulation. The Rockets lead the Spurs 3 games to 2. Hakeem Olajuwon and Dennis Rodman.
The name of this game for the San Antonio Spurs is score point. They got to figure out a way to get the ball in the basket with David Robinson on the floor. Avery Johnson has been good when he's using the pick and roll, but Robinson's not there to set it up.
Elliott on the drive. That's before the shot. The foul is on Drexler. That's number 2 on Drexler. For the Spurs, the big challenge will be...
The following program is closed captioned for the hearing impaired. Captioning provided by the physicians and staff of the Mercy Cancer Center. Live from your 24-hour news source, you're watching News Center 13 at 10.
And it's a wonderful love story, and it shows just some of the beautiful scenery of Iowa, the wonderful people here, and I just think it was a great show.
For those lucky enough to see the film, the Bridges of Madison County wins raves from the locals. Good evening. Premiere day may be over, but Madison County is hoping the love affair goes on.
This was a day-long celebration of the film that is destined to put Winterset on the map for years. They lined up early for a chance to see the film. Only the winners of a special lottery got the chance to buy tickets. Visiting dignitaries, our own Jim Zabel among them, had the first chance to see the film. A caravan of limos ushered the first audience to the Iowa Theater. And when it was over, the media flocked to record instant critiques. Special assignment reporter Jim Strickland begins our coverage.
The movie is all Winterset could have hoped for. The pre-screening turnout was not. Weather may have been a factor. The price may have been as well, even though the proceeds from $30 a ticket would help restore the bridges.
That's too rich for my blood. I'll see it when it comes down to normal prices.
Number 17. By the time the ticket lottery was complete, only about 700 people had entered for 300 seats. No lottery needed for the VIP invitees attending the afternoon screening. Among them, 17-year-old Christopher Crone of Des Moines. He plays Francesca's son.
When I first walked in there, I was a little bit nervous with Clint and Merrill. But after that, they opened up to me real well. And I became an actor, I guess.
Warner Brothers did not release a clip of Chris's performance, just a lot of Clint and Merrill. So you'll have to see him for yourself. As a whole, the movie was a hit in the hometown.
I thought it was beautifully filmed, beautifully acted. Meryl Streep will probably get an Academy nomination.
They say this is Oscar bound. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. I think we're up for some good things here, so I'm looking forward to a really successful film.
Those attending the premiere are getting more than a movie for their money. They're also getting this, a package of the tissues of Madison County. And from the reaction of the first audience, sounds like they came in handy.
The ending was very tearful. It was very good. Well, you're not going to believe this, but Home Alone made me cry.
Bridges of Madison County didn't.
No.
If you'd like to test your own tear tolerance, Clint and Merrill open Friday at more than 50 screens statewide. Jim Strickland, News Center 13.
And at Glen Oaks Country Club, a private screening of the movie.
But also a public auction of autographed movie items to raise money for the Variety Club. And how about this Bridges script autographed by director Clint Eastwood? What would it be worth to you? Remember, the money's going to a good cause. And the winning bid, $1,300. Coming up a bit later, our coverage on the Bridges premiere will continue in the Olsen file. Rob sneaked into the Iowa Theater to find out how the audience was holding up during the tearjerker. And if the movie didn't move them, Rob had something guaranteed to make them cry. And later, Rob Olsen on a mission in Madison County. If Clint and Merrill can't make you cry, check out this Olsen file.
Live from your 24-hour news source, you're watching News Center 13, Late Edition.
The Bridges crew's making rain for the movie last fall. They just stuck around, been here during May. Would have saved some money.
Yeah, but I tell you what, they wanted a downpour. They wanted you to be instantly drenched in this rain that they made.
Turned out the movie itself had a lot of great weather too, I guess.
Yes, it did. Beautiful.
Made our part of Iowa look beautiful as it is.
Yeah, they could have gotten that downpour in just about any day in May, because when it rained, folks, it rained.
Coming up next, Stephen Governor Branstad can't hide.
Rob Olsen was in Madison County today, bringing tears to the eyes in the Olsen file.
And Girls State Tennis underway. Pat Paris is going to have highlights later on in sports. Read the Bridges of Madison County, you probably got a little teary-eyed.
And if you're planning to see the film, plan to bring the Kleenex. But Rob Olsen found it sometimes takes a little more than romance to bring tears. Here's tonight's Olsen file.
They came to Winterset's historic Iowa Theater. They saw a sneak screening of the Bridges of Madison County, and they cried and cried. Well, a lot of them cried anyway, except projectionist Louis Oberbeck. He didn't quite get to see the whole thing.
No, I was concentrating on making sure there was a good image on the screen for everybody.
So he has an excuse. Robert Waller's book and Clint Eastwood's film are highly engineered tearjerkers, and if they don't work, we brought our own insurance, the Onion of Madison County, because this occasion demands tears.
I did cry. Oh yeah, it's an incredible tearjerker.
Sarah Schmidt plays Meryl Streep's daughter in the film. She says the tears were definitely flowing in the theater. Even tough guys like Kincaid-esque photographer Ray Susong cracked reading the book and expects the same of the film.
If it's as emotional as the book, then yes.
Although our Onion couldn't draw his tears today, and Sarah says it really wasn't necessary.
I think we would have cried anyway.
Even the Bridges seemed to be crying today, although I'll admit that was just the raindrops coming off of them earlier. But with all the attention they've received, maybe they should be crying. They've sort of lost their innocence. But all that capitalism pales to the power of the love story Waller and Eastwood have created. It even came close to pulling tears from Iowa's governor.
Well, I will say I came close to crying, but I didn't really break down and cry.
Well, will this help? Come on. We'll just leave the tears in the Olsen file. In Winterset, Rob Olsen, News Center 13.
It's been well documented here that you didn't need an onion. You just cried profusely.
I did. A lot of tears. What can I say? It was a great movie.
We had a theme show. We started Hollywood. We're ending up Hollywood.
Hey, News Center 13, going Hollywood. All right.
We hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.
For around-the-clock news headlines in the Des Moines area, watch News Center 13 on TCI of Central Iowa, cable channel 30, twice each hour. Fashions by Yonkers.